goodness, what a play!
Fumble the ball, and Denver has recovered. Oh, my!
Dempsey kicks, it's on the way! It is! Good! Good!
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions!
Oh, he caught it! Oh! Unbelievable!
All right, here we go. We are live. FOMFanatics episode 6 of the 2020 season. Welcome everybody. Week 2 is behind us. Week 3 is upon us. I am Jam. That's Kamish. What's going on, Phil?
You know, that clip of the Philadelphia Eagles are now Super Bowl champions used to warm my heart. Now I hear it, I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ, this team is so bad.
Hey. The season is early. Got into the playoffs last year with nobodies. So, we don't have to lose hope just yet.
Well, we still have
McDermott's is up.
We still have a bunch of nobody. Oh my God, is that your dad, Ryan? That doesn't look like your dad. I think that's Caroline's dad.
Oddly, it looks like an old version of Ryan. So.
Well, yeah, but I knew what Ryan's dad looked like, and that doesn't look like what I remember. So,
well, maybe he has been watching it.
Comment at least.
Yeah. I know that I was thinking, do I change the intro this year, which I plan to do once I do a proper video intro. But I think the Eagles thing is going to stay on. Like it has to, right?
I mean, I have a. I don't know. Let's see what clips you find. You know, you're the creative genius here. I'm here for my football knowledge that we'll make fun of later. But in terms of creativity and actually making this thing likable, that's entirely on you.
Well, I was a little bummed out today because this is one of the things that happens when you have kids is nothing that you just leave laying around remains laying around. Like, I don't know where my Eagles hat is. I'm really bummed out. And I think in honor of Thursday Night Football, I'm going to have to rock this thing. I got to wear a hat. So here we go.
You can wear your Duval shirt.
I know. I was actually looking for that and have like the perfect. I'm representing both.
Pull a Rob Lowe situation.
Yeah. Ryan thinks the photogen is what? Because I look. Am I looking leaner? I think I look horrible. But let's see what happens with it. I don't know who Bud is, but that's Santa.
Oh wow! Okay,
yeah.
That is Ryan's dad then, I guess.
Oh, yeah, we got some activity. All right, so we got a lot to get to today. So I think we dive right in. Has anyone heard from Denver? That's outside of earlier today because he's supposed to be coming in to do a little bit of trash talking. Maybe I'll ping him real quick. But the way I figured we can go through, we got a couple previews. We're not going to cover all teams, obviously, because not everybody threw some stuff on, but we'll get some more previews in, and then we'll talk week 2, and then dive into week 3 and see where we go from there. What do you think?
Yeah, the question I always have, well, I guess we always try to now split this between Denver's here, yes, one league and the other. So which league is first this time?
I figured we could do the previews first because we have Denver online, and then we can go into. So we'll kind of flip flop a bit today. What do you think?
Yeah, that should be fine as long as we put timestamps in, and the previews are entertaining for everyone anyway.
Yeah. All right. Let me get the link over to Denver. I can jump in if he's ready to go and join us. Okay, here we go. All right, Denver. I sent you a link. I believe if you just click on that, you'll end up in the studio, and I can bring you in. My beard is long right now, Ryan. This is not a shave. Actually, maybe I don't know. When's the last time?
Yeah, Ryan apparently hasn't seen you in a while.
Ryan hasn't seen me since I had the big ass beard. Yeah. Oh shit, we got John in the house too. Very nice. John's got a preview coming.
Apparently doing it immediately after work works for most people, even though for me, I still have my body thinking about things at the moment.
I do too. I'm just ignoring it. Mine's coming from my staff, so I'm allowed to ignore it.
I was going to say, maybe that's why he's messaging me, because Jam's just ignoring
he's been sending me, and I'm just like, no. All right, so I think we're ready to get into previews, because I got Denver in the studio, so let's kick it off and bring him in. What's up?
What's going on, guys?
Denver.
What's going on,
how's it
buddy?
going?
Oh man,
Nice.
that felt so fancy. It said I was backstage and everything. Like,
Really?
We have a classy operation here. What do you think? We're some sort of,
oh no, you guys are the real deal, man. Backstage at the Phil and Jam show, like
That's right, man.
coming out after the show, I guess.
How things going with you, man?
Oh, they're going. It's it's been kind of a week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We've been hearing about it.
long story short, just to update, I talked to my boss's boss today, and she
Okay.
basically said she can't promise I won't get fired, but if I do, she'll raise hell. So
Ooh.
I'm excited because now there's me raising hell, my boss raising hell, and my boss's boss raising hell. So
Let's wait till the lawyers start raising hell.
you're not wrong.
So
So
you got a whole lot of hell raising going on. That's good, man. And again, like I think everyone else has said on the chat, pretty commendable to want to stand up for what you believe in and say the right thing, even though it might you might have to take a hit for it. But it's good to know you might have some support.
yeah, so it's good to know.
Yeah.
I have support, unlike Waco having.
Oh, here we go.
We're just gonna roll right
Great
into
segue.
Good segue.
the best segue. So I guess the place I'll start with, the best coach on Waco is Dick Cutter. Great name, which Waco already started out perfect with him after they had to cut Darius Geis. So living up to the name of Dick Cutter, cutting Geis, getting him out of the room. Perfect start. There's a problem though when he's your best scoring coach after he kind of ruined what Jameis Winston was supposed to be. He has not been helpful to anyone. That's why he's not a head coach anymore. He's just a little offensive coordinator on a team that can't hold a 39-point lead. Or did they not?
It's not the offensive coordinator's fault if you're shitting on the
They
defensive.
stopped scoring. You got to keep scoring, Phil. That's the
Gotta
name
keep
of the game.
putting it on. Just keep putting it on them.
Next coach is Chuck Pagano, another guy who used to be a head coach but couldn't cut it. So now he's just a defensive coordinator for the Bears of all teams, who 2-0, shocker, but who's not 2-0? Pretty much anyone in our division, including West Waco. So they're going to end up being 1-2. Good start. Bill Belichick is the highlight of this team, of the whole team. Not even the team. Bill Belichick, we might even get to see him smile if Waco pulls out like 3 total wins this year. I doubt it, but he's been rocking the hoodie. We're loving him rocking the hoodie. But Waco, you can rock the losses instead of the hoodie, and it'll be all right for us. Let's go to quarterbacks. You got Baker Mayfield, former number 1 overall pick,
That's right.
riding the bench. So that's great. Take a number 1 pick, you throw him on the bench, let him sit there, do nothing. When I was actually trying to put together a video, I had a sequence of plays between Mayfield and Chubb, who is the number 1 running back, of 3 straight plays that turned into turnovers, 2 fumbles by Chubb and a very, very bad pass by Baker Mayfield. But I'm not very tech savvy, so if you want to look that up, they were playing the Patriots, and I think it was like 2 years ago or last year, whatever year Mayfield was a rookie. So that's always great to watch. Then Ryan Tannehill, your number 1 quarterback, gets outthrown by his running back in the playoffs last year. So your number 1 quarterback isn't even the number 1 quarterback on his team. So proud of you for giving him only $4.3 million. I guess that's a good amount for like a 4th string quarterback. So good job. I'll commend Waco for that.
Not overpaying.
But where you did overpay was with Cam Akers, $16 million for a rookie.
Oh man,
That's
not looking good.
I don't even know if he's going to play this week. He's questionable. He scored 6 points in the first 2 weeks. So definitely living up to the $16 million for anyone in the division. We're excited that you paid him. We're glad you paid him. You can keep paying him through 2023.
Oh,
Even if you want to keep going after that, extend him out. Whatever it is, yeah. Because there's you get 1 extension, Phil, or is it
You get
nothing?
no extensions on these guys. Anyone going forward, you can have an extension on, but the guys out of the auction, you don't get one.
Oh, well, he can extend him if he wants him. He can keep him.
you can go and re-sign him.
Yeah, you can have him. Nick Chubb, I'm not even I'm not even sure he's the number one running back on the team. Kareem Hunt has looked pretty good, and he's a little bit cheaper. I think Kareem Hunt's $9 or $10 million cheaper in the league, probably putting up similar point production. I know he was a big factor last week. Chubb did score a little bit last week, but it's still a 2-back race out there. So I can't really give you props for signing a guy that I don't even know if he's the starter, and he's your number one by far. When Jerick McKinnon and James White, with the unfortunate situation that happened, didn't play last week, and I'm a person who likes James White, but he's not a guy that's going to light up the scoreboard. And for $8.1 million, he's again a little expensive. I don't know what Chase was doing with his money. Just because you're named after a bank doesn't mean that you know what you're doing. So, wide receivers, AJ Brown, $21 million. And I don't even he played maybe part of a game. He was out last week and probably out this week too. Chase Claypool's been your best wide receiver, and that's because he had one catch for like 80 yards. Outside of that, he's done nothing. Chris Conley, Jacksonville wide receiver. Who the hell signs Jacksonville wide receivers? Unless they're Keelan Cole. He's the main guy out there. He's living it up, and of course he's on my team, so he's got the benefit.
There you go.
Justin Jefferson and Olabisi Johnson. That's another $10 million total for 20 points. For 20 points. Neither of those guys are number one options. Jefferson might be the number two, but again, you're just paying for nobody, and that'll show up after this week when you've got your one win. I don't remember who you beat. It was
who did you beat?
Last week. It was this week. I don't know who we beat. Someone in the division though. So thanks for keeping it tied, letting me catch up after my loss, but don't need you anymore. You can pull back. Rager's out? Is it Rager out for the year? I know you guys know.
Rager's not out for the year. He's out. He's only out for a week or two.
Well,
really? I thought he was getting surgery.
I think he's still only out a few weeks. It's surgery on a thumb.
Yeah.
Thumb.
I just saw he was hurt.
Yeah, he's not going to play this week. I mean, he's
$6 million. That's $6 million on your bench this week. Your bench is expensive. I would love to just see what your bench could do if they weren't hurt and overly expensive. OJ Howard and Travis Kelce, not a bad tight end duo, but when you're paying them $21 million, I don't know if I'd pay that much for tight ends. I mean, I know I paid $5.5 million to Gronk, who's done nothing, but that's also not $21 million. So
fucking Gronk, man.
Gronk's a dude, man. He's gonna figure it out. So for the offense, I guess the highlight is Bill Belichick. Outside of that, your team's just a bunch of backups that aren't really going to help you out too much. Other than Kelce, I'll give you that too. But Mahomes isn't looking good. So how's the ball even going to get out there? Mahomes got outplayed by Herbert, who I traded. So Aaron Donald, great player. Other than that, half of your defense. Don't know who this Sam Hubbard guy is or this Matt Ioannidis guy is, but they played for crap teams. So I just assume that since they're on your team too, the crap. Jayon Brown, feel like I had him at one point, but dropped him because I was a little close to the cap there. And by a little close, I mean I think I was like $8 million over. But hey, he's a guy that we obviously didn't need, and then you decided to pay him almost $3 million, 2.7, I think it says here. Zach Cunningham, plays on Houston. I don't trust Houston's defense. I don't trust anyone out there. Alexander Johnson hasn't been that great. Matt Milano, don't even know who the hell that is. Malcolm Butler had one good play 6 years ago in the Super Bowl. Vernon Hargraves got cut from his last team, who was also Houston, and he's still on Houston. Nobody that stands out. This defense is just trash. It's horrible. I don't can't tell I'm a really great trash talker. I just know you wasted a lot of your money, and it's all tied up in guys that are hurt or on the bench. Could have been like me and went over your cap and still had a good team, but you didn't even get to your cap and your team sucks. So I'm proud of you. I knew you could do it, and thanks for being in my division.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Straight talk. Every single player got mentioned and trashed a little bit.
That was the goal.
Gotta appreciate that, my man. So you're feeling good about week 3, I take it.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be a good week. I think. I know MFL isn't the best on predictions, but I think it's got me as a 17-point favorite. Oh no, it's down to 10.
Ooh,
so
what happened?
Nothing changed. But
Did someone get hurt?
Rager.
Oh yeah.
No, nobody on my team. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll have to look at my roster, get it set. I don't think I'm set for the week. Been going back and forth on who I'm starting as my defensive coordinator this week, and that's a decision I have to make here in the next couple hours.
Yeah.
Think I'm gonna roll with the Dolphins tonight for my defensive coordinator. See how that works out.
It's an interesting game tonight.
I've heard that Chark is out. So with Chark out, it really sort of steps up the Dolphins' possibilities.
Yep, I'm gonna take them over. New Orleans. They're playing Green Bay. I'm gonna.
No, they didn't look good last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Did not look good.
That
defense did not look good.
Roll it out there and see what happens. But we'll see what happens between my quarterbacks too. 2 best quarterbacks in the league. One hangs out on the bench every week, drinks a little water.
So much money you're spending.
Just keep waiting. See who gives you the offer. Someone's gonna give you the offer.
We'll see.
Something someday. If not, I'll hold them for 3 years.
Yeah.
Got them both signed through 22. So
stream those bastards.
Honestly, in the future, you may be able to actually get something when people can manage their payroll a little better. But this year is going to be difficult because no one can give you anything for these players without essentially giving up $12 million of their own team or more. It's more than that, right? Like I forget how much it's like some absurd amount of money. And if you're giving up that much, you're giving up key players on your team.
Yep,
so,
Allen makes the lower amount at 14, just over 14. So
Allen's a good contract. Like Allen's about the average for what the starting caliber quarterbacks are getting. And then you had a higher tier like Mahomes, Russ, and Lamar Jackson, and then a bunch of backup level ones.
I mean, both of them are obviously great quarterbacks. It's just that you can only start one quarterback.
Yeah.
And you're in a bit of a disadvantage because everyone knows you can only start one quarterback. So it's not like you have a lot of leverage here.
But I can also start Chris Thompson. Like, who wouldn't do that? Chris Thompson, Keelan Cole. A great roster. I got Dalton Schultz now on the Cowboys. My one free agent pickup.
Yeah, the guy who kept losing that job and then getting it back because of injury.
Yeah, even after I traded for Fells, traded for Fells and then go out and sign Dalton Schultz. So.
Oh, you're the one who traded for Fells?
Yep.
I mean, I think it was worth it with Gronk being out, and now I have.
You realize that Akins is on my practice squad, right? Like you could have just by default offered me a 4th round pick for their starting tight end.
Hey, he's gonna get hurt.
Okay.
And then Fells will be the number 1 yet again.
My man's got his predictions. He's got his crystal ball.
Yep.
All right. So how much are you going to win your rivalry battle here this week by Denver?
Point differential. Let's hear it.
Point. Oh, you want my point differential? Well, it's definitely by more than the 9.9 that it's projected currently. Man, Jam, you got lucky last week. I thought I was coming for you with that team of the week.
That team of the week? I didn't get lucky. I have a tremendous team.
No, you got lucky.
I don't like this confident Jam. In the other league, Jam's been mediocre at best every season. And now after like 2 games, he's like, yeah, my team's amazing. What are you going to do about it?
A high-scoring team in the league, 6 victory points. I mean, I'm riding high.
I'm going to win by at least 32.
32.
That's
all right.
I like the confidence. I like it.
That's the low right there. And then I'm hoping this is the last week without Deebo Samuel. Gets my wide receiver core back together. My wide receiver core has never fully been together, which is sad.
Yeah.
But get Mike Evans, Keelan Cole, Christian Kirk. If he can score more than like half a point.
Phil's got a high opinion on Christian Kirk. I like him. I just don't like him this year.
Oh,
I'm getting worried. I'll say that. I'm getting worried. But yeah, his week 1 was ridiculous. I think Kyler Murray was just trying out the new toy on the team.
Yeah.
Ignore everyone that wasn't Hopkins, but that can't last forever.
Yeah.
Well, Keelan Cole is going to go off this week. He's averaging 15.75 points. You know what? 2 touchdowns for Keelan Cole tonight.
2 touchdowns, up 32. Some bold predictions. I like it. I like it.
And then T. Higgins, who's going to sit on my bench, is going to score his first touchdown. So we got a good week. Good week coming up.
You know what? I bitched a lot about T. Higgins because he's terrible. But if there's one thing that I think he can do, is probably score touchdowns. Again, he's tall. He can just sort of stand in the end zone, reach up, and grab the ball.
He's like a non-tight end sized guy. Not bulky wise.
He's a tight end without the ability to block.
Yeah, and the size, like the actual bulk.
Oh man!
But, I didn't dislike T. Higgins as much as Phil did, so I'm excited to see him do big things.
I liked him $2.9 million worth. So
that's a good number. That's a good number
for 1 year.
That's a good number.
1 year. What did you expect him to do this year?
Yeah.
Hey, look, I know I can't extend him, so let's see if anyone wants to give him money next year.
Well, I mean, before the year started, there was still a question between him and John Ross, but it's no longer a question. John Ross is done.
Right.
John Ross is finished. Even the throws that went his way, he missed them. So he's done. Burrow's sick of him.
Bill, 90% of my team expires after this year.
Are you the only other one other than me to do that? Because I remember there was one owner who just did that. I was a little annoyed because it kind of screwed up my strategy a little bit.
I think it was someone else that you were annoyed at because I kept my.
It's your entire defense. Your entire defense expires this year.
Yeah,
it does. The only
strip it clean.
That's fine. My defense is actually signed. It's my offense I need to deal with.
Coaches, defense. I think anyone who was a rookie, I just said, hey, 1 year. I kept my 2 quarterbacks locked up, Jarwin, and then my wide receivers. I think that was the only. Oh, and Kamara.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's like 1 year for everyone.
Yeah, you giving Kamara a contract till 2023 is the only thing that's kept me from discussing a trade with you about him. That's a lot of commitment for a running back.
Hey, he's the number 1 running back in the league right now. So
he looks real fucking good every time I play this ball.
He is looking good.
Got top 2 quarterbacks, number 1 running back, and that's why I'm going to win by at least 32 this week. So
I like it, man. Well, good luck, dude. Thank you for joining us. Good trash talk. Good way to kick off the episode.
Yeah,
and I talk to Jam. Talking to Phil kind of sucks, but I got.
I don't know why Phil gets so much hate.
Cool. We let Phil leave. Me and Jam will take over. Jam and I got this. All right, who we got next, Jam?
Yeah, man. I don't know where Phil went, actually. I'm assuming he went to get a drink.
Probably. Yeah, he had to hear me talk, so he's like, I need a beer or wine. I don't know.
It seemed like an appropriate time to leave the conversation.
All right, buddy. Good luck to this week. Great job, and good luck with the stuff at your work, man.
Yep, I'll definitely keep you guys in the loop. So
yeah, man. I'd like to hear.
I tend to be somewhat active.
Yeah, man. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Take it easy, buddy. Later. All right.
The Jerry or not Jerry? The guy in Parks and Rec. It is Jerry, right? And
Jerry. We became Gary, and then Jerry again.
Jerry, whatever. All the different.
I do like this comment from Chris. It reminds me of him, his AB chat last year.
What was this chat?
Chris was like the first guy to join us on the podcast because he was defending his trade.
Oh,
yeah, didn't go that well.
Chris had a lot of trades to defend that year. He's looking better in both leagues this time, but last year was. I feel better about now just saying how shitty last year was. Because last year I always had to be like, but Chris is a great guy, but yeah, this is a bad trade. Now I can just be like, Chris, you really fucked up last year. But looking good, I can feel better about it.
All right, what do you think, Phil? Should we jump to our next preview?
I have a few of them, so I'm looking forward to them.
All right, so next up we've got the preview of the Hollywood Haymakers presented by the Chicago Maesters of the Midway. Let's check it out.
You say the price of that guy, it's not a price that you're willing to pay. And you cry when you look at the depth of your team and just sigh, why so bad? Remember the point of this game is to field a good team. Now you're making us glad, because we know come week 3 we'll have cash in hand. You'll be blessed, soon you'll see. You'll remember you belong to me. You'll be blessed, time will tell. You'll remember that we spanked you well. Hopes will rise, then they'll fall. You will be beneath us through it all. And when push comes to shove, we will send you pictures of the standings to remind you that you suck. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. You'll say that Jimmy G sucks and you can't go on. We'll be the ones complaining when you are gone. And no, don't change the subject, 'cause you're our favorite subject. A sweet, submissive subject, a loyal loser subject, forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. You'll be blessed, you wipe the floor. We will fight the fight and win the war. Diggs will whine, the garden's high. Girlie's knees are gonna make you cry. When you're gone, we'll be sad, but you should throw away this team you have. 'Cause when push comes to shove, MJ is the greatest, and he's deserving of your love. Da 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 dum da 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 dum da 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 dum da 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 da. Let's go, buddy. Da 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 dum da 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 dum da 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 dum da da da.
Come on. What the fuck? Come on.
I don't know how musical themes started as part of this, but I love it.
Yeah. And good Lord, John can sing, man. Like when he sent it to me, because he sent me the audio file and the instrumental to help him put it together. So when I got it, I was like, oh, this could be cringy. If he can't sing, this is just going to be horrible because it's a whole song. Then
I didn't expect it to be the whole thing. I thought it was going to cut off at some point.
But he wrote a full, really good parody through and through and fucking killed it, man.
Yeah, he hit the high note.
Yeah, it's very impressive. Amazing job, man. Like that was a lot of fun. These have been really different. It's not as I expected. Like we've had a hip hop take. We've had a Broadway take.
I haven't noticed myself that I didn't get in on this whole singing and rapping.
That's true. You got them both. You could do it.
I love doing all of that. But at no point did it come to me, you know what? I'm going to make a musical version making fun of my opponent.
There you go. Well, if you win against San Diego this week, then you can trash them endlessly throughout the season. Really, if you beat them in the rivalry week, that cup is yours. I forgot which one was yours.
Cannabis Cup.
Yes, Cannabis Cup. There you go. All right, so we got one last one. Should we just rock out?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. South Park, Colorado. A quaint mountain town whose people sure do love their sports. So you can imagine how excited they were when Chris Back decided to bring a new football team to town.
Go Broncos. Yeah, go Broncos. Yeah.
Chris, of course, could have brought a team to his hometown of San Diego, who famously lost their football team, but the classic rock hater and self-proclaimed John Lennon assassination denier said fuck that. But before I get into the South Park Cows, I'd like to tell you about another team called the Yulee Chiefs. The Yulee Chiefs were a proud franchise in the FOMFA League, with astute leadership and a winning tradition. In 2017, the Chiefs won their division with an impressive 9-4 record, and followed that up in 2018 with another winning record year. The team was set up for success, a perennial playoff contender, until Chris Back took over. Upon taking ownership of the Yulee Chiefs in 2019, he changed the name to Hanging with Just Chris. But realizing how unappealing hanging out with him was, he flip-flopped and changed the name once again to Death Valley Red Tails.
Let's go flip-flopping, Mac. That's what Democrats do.
And thus, the teardown of a great team began. In his first act, Chris shipped off Darius Leonard on a rookie contract for basically a late first-rounder. A linebacker who puts up more points than most elite wide receivers. He followed this up by moving down in a very thin draft from pick number 4 to pick number 8, missing out on the major talents like Miles Sanders and Kyler Murray, ending up with TJ Hawkinson and a bunch of low picks. But the worst was yet to come. Chris's signature move was acquiring Antonio Brown at the cost of a first-round pick, 2 second-round picks, Lamar Miller, Doug Martin, and Matt Stafford. Now you might be thinking, AB in 2019? That's not so bad. He was just traded to the Raiders and ready to go off. No red flags there. Nope. Chris made the trade after already knowing about Helmetgate and Frostbite Footgate, so AB's spiral into madness had already begun. At the end of the day, he suited up for Chris once, as a Patriot, and then was cut. Solid leadership right there. The Red Tails crumbled a once-winning franchise down to an abysmal 3-10 record, which would be nice for a rebuild, but he got rid of his draft picks. This is who South Park has leading their squad.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Let's just keep it going. All right, back to the South Park Cows. How did Chris fare with a brand new franchise? Well, for starters, he hired a head coach in Pete Carroll, who ranked 19th in the league last year for points. Good call making him the 5th highest paid coach in the league. At QB, Chris blew 15% of his cap on getting the top QB in the game. I can't trash Lamar Jackson. He's a great QB, whose greatness is enabled by a fantastic coach. Oh, who's that? John Harbaugh, the top scoring coach in the league who plays for my team? The future champ South Philly Pigeon Boys?
Well, I just think, Jeremy, that it all started with John Harbaugh.
Yeah, thanks for the point, Lamar. Well, I personally hope Lamar keeps killing it for me. The man runs and he doesn't slide. So, if he gets hurt, at least South Park's got some solid backups and oh, jeez. Mitch Trubisky. Yikes. At running back, Chris signed 2 starter backs for their teams in Raheem Mostert and Ronald Jones. Raheem Mostert's solid, so as long as he can stay healthy... as long as at least Ronald Jones can stay the lead back... Bucks signed Shady McCoy and Leonard Fournette. Huh. Well, I mean, he knows the system, so there's no way those other guys are going to get a bigger role. Wait, what the fuck? Alright. In RB depth, Chris got uber excited when Marlon Mack went down and Naheem Hines broke out for a monster game, putting up 25 points in week 1. Of course, as any good owner would know, his usage would crumble back down to nothing, as it did in week 2, where he put up 0.9 points. That's right, not even 1 point. Nice job not selling high there. South Park's wide receivers rank anywhere from god-awful to alright. WR1 is Cooper Kupp, $16 million on the books for 4 years, on a wide receiver in a system that runs and also has Robert Woods. So, clearly low risk. Next we got Devontae Parker, a player I thank Chris for outbidding me on. He'll do his thing, but those hammies are real suspect, as is his ability to catch the ball. Beyond that, yikes. So we got old man Edelman, who's still productive, but now has a running QB. And then after that, geez, I'm not even mentioning these guys. I'm sorry. John Ross at $2 million. He's lost his job. His current duties are to guard the bench and give Joe Burrow handy J's. Okay, let's move this dumpster fire along. Tight ends, whatever. Jaceki, fine. Jimmy Frecklefro is a non-factor. Doing this review is starting to get boring, much like Chris's team.
God, I just got so sleepy. I'm sorry, what were we talking about?
I'll give the guy credit on defense. He signed some nice players here. Joey Bosa, DeForest Buckner, Jalen Smith, Jamal Adams. But after your trash offense, am I supposed to give you credit for doing your job?
You're supposed to, you dumb motherfucker. What you talking about?
You tried building a team that you yourself said were scrambling to figure out, threw some shit on the wall, and came out with something. But overall, there's only one way to describe your team.
My God.
So listen, South Park. The Creamy Goo Fight Milk Bowl is mine. Go back to hating classic rock and get ready to lose some games, especially in week 3. Pigeon Boys out.
Suck my balls.
Oh, it got dirty.
Well done. Well done. That was good. But I did enjoy that his plan was to sign CMC or Barkley or that would have solved anything.
Yeah, it's true. I didn't even think about that when I put that together. Like, if he ended up with those guys, he'd be even more fucked. I gotta wish he did get those guys. But I mean, still, this week, I don't know who's starting, but it should be a good game.
You went into some FOMFA history that
that got a little dirty.
It got a little dirty. I guess the league is now aware of what happened when I said, Chris, that was indefensible. But you didn't go to all the trades, though. There were several.
No, I know. It would have been like 20 minutes if I went to all the trades. I didn't even go into the details of how we went from 4 to 8. But,
going from a competing team to 3-10 with no draft picks, it takes more than a couple of trades.
Yeah. Anyways, that was that. Unfortunately, those are all the ones that we have this week. So, we're through with previews and we're going into week 3, and let's see how everybody does. Let's see how the rivalry match goes up. What is the deal there again? What do you win?
Money.
Money is good.
I don't know how much. I think like $17 or something. Let me take a look. It's nothing substantial, but enough that it's just like, haha, fuck, I got the money.
I'm gonna convert that down to coins and just sprinkle it all over myself in the next podcast when I take home the
$17.17 currently.
Woo!
You
money.
So for us that's like $50 or something, right?
It's like I could buy a house.
I don't even know what the exchange rate is currently because we haven't been allowed to go to the States. I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah. It usually hangs around between 75 and 80.
Oh, no, it hasn't been that high in a long time.
No, is it even lower than that? Ugh.
Yeah, it's usually around 70.
We had that minute there when we were at par and everybody was crossing the border.
That was a great shit. And we got in all the jokes after all of the American jokes about our dollar. And we're like, American, I don't know if I could take this, man.
Didn't last that long, but we enjoyed it while we had it. No one's arguing the $2 strong. All right. So what do you think, man? Should we go into FOMFA results for last week, and then we'll go back to Benoit?
Sure.
We'll jump around. All right. Let's rebrand. Real quick. Bam.
Rebranding is just changing.
We have rebranded. All right. So let me pull up. I always forget where to find this.
It's under franchise and then weekly results.
All right, report franchise weekly results. All right, first game. We got, I got my game up top, so why don't you tell me what the first game is?
The Hookers versus Sandwich.
FF Village Hokage. I think that's how you pronounce that.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know, so I'm just going to keep calling them the Hookers.
Well, at some point, Derek will let us know. Hopefully. So here we are. We got You're as a Sandwich coming out with a big win. This is a rebuilding team that's given away all their assets and still put up a big game on whose backs? Oh, I guess Gardner Minshew, Stephon Diggs. Oh, Chase Claypool had a good game too.
The whole defense also stepped up. The linebackers in particular did real well.
Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah. Really, really nice performance by the defense. It's good to know that Chris can win some games when he's trying to tank. It's just nice to see that he's doing that incorrectly. I guess for Hokage, Joe Burrow showed up. That was a nice week 2 game. Got good performances out of Mark Ingram and Keelan Allen. But his
after week 1, Mark Ingram was a big question mark.
Yeah,
so it's helpful to see some points there.
Yeah. But what really killed him was the efficiency rating.
And the 0 out of Anthony Miller. That was brutal.
Yeah.
Miller made a couple of key drops and basically got benched. Like the 6th-round rookie or whoever he is ended up playing more snaps than him last week. And, I have him in the other league, so that's not good news. I think we're just like hey, fix your shit. You're benched for now, and I think he'll be back this week, but we'll see. That's a dangerous thing to happen there.
Yeah, because I was touting him as I was like, oh, this is he's gonna have a nice year, but then he follows up week 1 with a bagel. That's crazy. Who else on his bench would have had some big performance? I guess Marcus Peters, cornerback. But would you have started him over anyone here? Nick Vigil put up a big 0. That's a linebacker.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a I don't like starting corners, but I mean, Tre'Davious White is in there. Whether you start Marcus Peters or Tre'Davious White. Given Peters was up against Watson, I wouldn't have been predicting an interception there. So I think White against the Dolphins was probably the play I would have made too.
Yeah.
And Ndamukong Suh, great game, but again, I'm not going to start defensive tackles unless I have options. So I don't see any real bad decisions. I think it's just his team didn't do particularly well.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, I remember last year, week 2. I got destroyed, and it was just because nobody showed up at the same time. I had a team that was not supposed to score 130 points, and they scored 130 points. So it happens. All right. How do we do pick wise? So week 2.
Before we go into that, why is JJ Watt on your bench, Chris?
I don't think does he not realize how the tanking works?
Points? I don't know. But Trent Murphy and Leonard Williams, I don't know who either of these people are. And JJ Watt is on your bench. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's a little bizarre. Yeah. It's not going to affect your ratings, and you won the game, so regardless, it wouldn't have. But yeah, you gotta do better than that. Picks. So we had Hokage favored by 47. We both took the under, so there you go.
If it was favored by a reasonable amount, but that was just too much.
Yeah, it was too. Their differential wasn't that big. Okay, next game up, we got Wario versus Jayville. Is that what you got on your side? All right, so we got let's see. Wario takes the win as the favorite. This actually got close for a minute. But then Wario still had a bunch left to play and just kind of took off with it. I think Jayville had to have a huge game out of Hunter Renfrow, who got 5.59 points.
Yeah, the interesting thing here is Jayville's points came from places you wouldn't necessarily expect. His best players, Robinson and Thielen, combined for just over 10.4 points.
Yeah.
If either of them just was I'll do something respectable this week could have been a lot closer.
Yeah. And he starts Jimmy Garoppolo over Justin Herbert, which is understandable completely.
Yeah, no one even knew Herbert was playing.
Yeah, exactly. And you could say, he should have started Keelan Allen, but again, his top 2 receivers, Allen Robinson and Adam Thielen, didn't do much. And Hunter Renfrow was kind of a last-minute swap out due to injury, if I recall correctly. Or someone it was his only option to switch out. Who was he flexing? Tight end, maybe? I forget who it was.
It would have been someone who was James White.
James White. There you go. Yeah. So he had James White starting, and his only option was to switch out to Renfrow because Allen had already played. So
yeah, that's true. It's not like Renfrow was chosen to be there over Cole. And I mean, Cole, prior to that, Cole had one good week.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't any certainty what was going to happen there. So, there's no real surprises here for me. I think they put up a good effort.
Identical efficiency ratings. Identical.
Or it's just, it's a good team. It's going to be tough to beat them. And, it was good efforts. But, hopefully it goes better in the second time around for Jayville.
Okay, so in terms of picks, Wario was favored by 38. You said they wouldn't cover. I said they would. So you're doing good in these picks. Jesus.
1 second, Jam. I just want to show my awesome. I don't know if you could read what the box says.
Box for fluffy jerks. Your cat is a bit of a fluffy jerk. Sorry. So yeah, you take the points there. I think we'll just keep it moving right along. Cobras versus Turk Rock Stakhanovitz. Is that what I think that is pronounced?
You're missing your game because it was on top.
Oh, okay. Let's go to my game
next. Yeah.
A real interesting one, of course. Team Marines versus Blitzkrieg BWAFF. Marines put a nice thrashing on me, but Marines didn't score all that well for being like the favorite in the division. But against me, that's going to be a W. I got a whole lot of bagels out of my team. That's nice to see. Gronk with a 0. John Ross. I don't even know. I don't know. I didn't really. I really should have. Oh, you know what? I thought. I guess I wasn't paying as much attention to this league. I thought Devontae Parker was not playing. There's no way I would have started John Ross or Devontae Parker. Like, I'm losing, but I'm still going to put up an effort. Like, I really do want to spoil it for some people. So, not that it would have made the difference, but it wouldn't have been, it wouldn't have been a whole bunch of zeros on my side. No real surprises here. I mean, Marines has got a pretty good team. Ben Roethlisberger had a good game. Chris Carson. Sonny Michel had a terrible game, but, I mean, that doesn't surprise us. But he doesn't really have many other options there. Nice game for Robbie Anderson again. Corey Davis. T.Y. Hilton needs to pick it up. Like, he hasn't started the year off too strongly. Maybe he's not meshing with old Captain Checkdown over there.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Well, we'll see what happens there, because that's going to be necessary. Like,
yeah,
Steven's team is one of those borderline. Yeah, maybe you make the playoffs, so you need better performances out of T.Y. Hilton. And there's not a lot of people on the bench that it's like, if Hilton doesn't perform, it's fine. Chenault is probably the best option. I think he's really the only one, though.
Yeah.
The rest of the team, it's like none of these guys are going to do anything. Chenault has looked pretty good so far, though, so maybe he starts becoming an option in the next few weeks.
Yeah, he's got Larry Fitzgerald, but you never know when that, where that ball is going if it's not Hopkins. He's gotten more attention than Christian Kirk has, but that could switch like this week.
That's not all that common.
Yeah.
Fitzgerald's 7 catches were the most since week 10 of last year. Mm-hmm. And other than that, like, he didn't do much of anything. So I think that's an aberration more than anything.
Yeah, pretty fine efficiency rating. So I mean, I guess that's the bad news. If his efficiency rating was lower, then you could say his team will generally score more. No real highlights from my team. Matt Ryan looking good. Jared Goff looked good too. But
the problem is your market, right? Like, you don't care about the quarterbacks that much, but they're making so much money.
Yeah, I know.
And he did trade Goff.
I was able to move Goff because
Ryan, no one can even afford him.
Yeah. I guess that I didn't get Ryan expecting to move him. If someone wants him, it'll cost him not much. All right, if they can afford him.
Despite some of the negative commentary on Steven's team, he came up with a win. That's all that matters.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see how we called that one. I know we both. So we had Marines by 37 points. You said they'd cover that. Why did I say I wouldn't? That's so stupid. That's just stupid of me. Like, of course you're gonna get destroyed. Like, my team's garbage. All right, now we can move on to Cobra's Turret Rocks, which was projected to be a very close game. How did it fare, Phil?
It was not a close game.
It was projected. You know what the spread was?
What was
9?
9? Yeah, that sounds like a reasonable spread for these teams.
It just, my God, like, this was a lot of big performances out of the Cobras team. Russell Wilson, Aaron Jones having monster performances. James Conner bounced back nicely, and even it even covers for Derrick Henry having kind of a pedestrian game. Hayden Hurst finally broke out, had a touchdown on a deep pass. Great efficiency rating. His defense really showed up too. Like, this was a big game for the Cobras. This is the time, but it's a very Israel thing to do in the first few weeks. where
Colorado could have started 5 players and still won the game.
Oh my God. That's insane. Yeah, that's true.
This is Mark's team didn't have a good game this week, but this is still more on the backs of how insane Aaron Jones and Russell Wilson performed.
Yeah. Because Mark's team didn't even it's 79.4 efficiency rating, so he didn't really miss out on a whole lot. I mean, starting Lamar Jackson over Cam Newton. Cam Newton had a big game, but you don't start Cam Newton over Lamar Jackson. So none of these decisions, and the rest of his bench didn't really do much.
There are a few interesting things here for me from Mark's team. One, Benny Snell was going up against James Conner on the other team, and after week 1, where Conner was just like, "Yeah, go away, we'll deal with Snell." This week they decided, "Oh, Benny Snell, you're just going to fumble the ball and get -4 receiving yards? Okay, so we'll just let James Conner handle it."
Yep.
That didn't go well for Mark.
No.
But the other thing, after week 1, where Will Fuller's like, "Yeah, I am the option in the Houston offense," he didn't fucking do anything.
Who did anything? Because Brandon Cooks didn't either. Who's catching balls?
I thought Cooks actually had a decent week, did he not?
Let me see. I mean, Cooks
11.65. That's not bad. Okay.
I think
this was a weird week from what I remember, where there were a number of major players who just disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Some due to injury, some due to just like Miller and Fuller. They're just like, you know what? Not this week. We'll go back. We'll go side to side.
That's gonna be so frustrating for anyone who owns either of those players. Especially if you own both, and you have to make a decision who to start.
So, the bad news for Mark is Mark's defense, from what I remember at the beginning of the year, was projected to be bad. His running backs were projected to be bad, and neither of those has really shown otherwise. He got a few, Devondre Campbell did well, John Bostic did well, but then you look at the rest of the defense, and it's 3.5 points. Yeah. So Mark's record, and which is just around 7-6, 8-5, barely sort of in competition for the division, is entirely based on Lamar Jackson and the wide receivers. So if those guys don't show up, it's going to be a bad week for Mark. And that's where I think he needs to focus his attentions to improve the team, because he is in a tight race. I mean, both Marines and Cobras shored up to try and win the division or go for the wild card. So it's gotten very interesting. That's a very interesting division that I'm sitting in the background watching. All right, well, what did we say for this one?
Picks wise, that was a -6 for Cobras.
Oh, right.
Again, I thought the Turret Rock would cover it. That they would cover it, which I wish they did. So sorry.
Sorry?
You said that they wouldn't cover.
They wait. You said Colorado was the favorite by 6 points.
Yeah, by 9 points.
Colorado, or fine, 9 points. I said Colorado would not win the game, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. All right.
Yeah. Well, I got to get something.
You got to get something.
All right. I really did think that was going to be a close game. I thought that was going to be game of the week.
Yeah, that was.
But it was not. All right. Moving on to Clout the Ground versus Lucas Shies. Clout the Ground being the go for it team all of a sudden. This was about what you'd expect. Clout the Ground came out swinging, put up a really, really strong game, 197 points to Luis's 157 points. So pretty thorough win. It's a good team. Like Patrick Mahomes had a great game. I thought Josh Jacobs had a better game than that. That's surprising.
Josh Jacobs looked good on the field, but he didn't actually do much. It was one of those games where if you watch it, it's going to be like, wow, he's breaking tackles left and right. But it was more because the Saints, in my view, sort of tried to focus on Jacobs. So he looked good, but he had too much competition to deal with. But as a result of the Saints putting all their efforts into stopping Josh Jacobs, which they were reasonably successful at.
Yeah.
And that people were wide the fuck open all game. So like,
yeah, that was a crazy game. Another great game out of Jonnu Smith, which was giving me a lot of heartache on the other in the other league. Joe Mixon has been very okay. Like, he hasn't really broken out yet. He hasn't had a breakout game. I mean, it's still only 2 weeks, but
this is sort of the history of Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
Like, I
it happened last year.
Joe Mixon has never, like, there's always this potential, and like, you know, he's going to get the most of the carries. He's looked good at times, and you got a pretty decent return for him. And I just find it funny because in the chat, everyone today is like, "Oh, you were asking for too much for." It's like, I asked for a couple of first-round picks, like,
yeah. And also, you had the freedom to also offer up Alexander Madison as part of that, because then that kind of negates the whole, well, he might get hurt. His history of injury is like, yeah, and this other guy that looked really good at his place.
Whatever. I'm fine with keeping him. It worked out well for when Saquon got hurt. I am disappointed. Like, I know I traded Kamara under the premise long-term this is going to be better for me. In the short term, it might not be ideal, but it's painful watching him get 35 points.
Well, I don't think you expected him to roll around right to the guy that's competing directly with you. Oh, Chris noting that Jacobs getting a Q. Oh, interesting. That's a big game for them to keep their momentum going. Like, I don't think you thought that Ryan was going to flip him over to Cloud to Ground. But yeah, good overall game from Cloud to Ground. It's showing that there's some decent balance. Some good defensive performances as well. Pretty sure we knew the way it would go. Anything to say on Luis's team?
Well, Aaron Rodgers had another it wasn't amazing like first week, but respectable game. That's definitely something you want to see to try to raise his value. But again, same problem you have with Matt Ryan. Like, who's going to want him? Yeah. CeeDee Lamb, 14 points. He's looking good. Getting 106 receiving yards in your second game. It's impressive. Younghoe Koo isn't going to get you 20 every week.
That was a crazy game. It was a crazy high-scoring game.
All combined, without like a kick return or touchdown or anything, the special teams combined for 42.6 points. No one can do that. How does a punter get 16? How does a kicker get 20? Like, they were the MVPs of Luis's team this week. Downside, Darius Slayton coming out of week 1. There's a lot of hype about him. I know you were a believer. I said that I have a lot of, like, even though in the draft I avoided him, I had some hopes after week 1, but then coming away with 3 receptions in a game where Saquon Barkley got injured, like, that is not a good sign.
It's got to do something for his future targets at least. He does. I'm a little surprised that he left Chase Young on the bench. Just because he's one big believer in Chase Young, and he's looked very good. Like, I mean, he was one game that he looked really good in, but I would have thought he would have gone over. I don't even know how to pronounce his name.
Odenigbo.
There you go.
I think it depends. Like, what I typically do with defensive ends, and maybe I shouldn't give away my secret, but whatever. If they're even remotely comparable, I look at the offensive line ratings, and this year there haven't been too many, so I just look at last year. I know the lines can differ or whatever, but I think it's important because there are certain lines, like the worst lines in the league, allow somewhere around 2.5 times the amount of sacks that the better lines in the league do. Just looking at the player individually isn't going to tell you a lot, because a player that's half as good might actually be the better start against an offensive line that's just terrible. So I don't know offhand what the Indianapolis. Wait, yes, I do. The Indianapolis line is really good.
Yeah.
Why? Yeah. So you're right. I don't know why you make this start, but whatever.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. This was a 40 point win. What was the line we had on this game? It was Cloud to Ground by 70. We both said that wasn't going to happen.
Okay, 70 is a lot of points.
Yeah, 70 is it's just a lot of points. It's not that we don't believe in that team to win. It's just a lot of points. All right, so what comes down to the actual game of the week, turned down for Watt versus. Or are you not, like? Let me know when your game is.
It's now. It's now. That's what I was wondering.
Okay, let's go to your game. Toronto Sixers versus Death Valley Red Tails again. Like not a game where you'd expect a very different outcome. You put a pretty solid thrashing on. I don't know. I think we were kind of tracking this one throughout the game. If you'd hit that big ass spread,
I almost did. If
yeah.
someone hadn't have gotten injured, I would have easily done it.
And we both said that you wouldn't hit spread.
No.
So,
80.
We both get a point there. Let's see. This was obviously Saquon going down hurts. Dalvin Cook, who we've been talking about, great game. Miles Sanders, great game. Nice to see that too. Good game out of Miles Sanders. You went with Drew Brees over Carson Wentz or Teddy Bridgewater. Ended up being definitely the right decision. Not a huge differential, but definitely the right decision. Your team's good, man. Like Cooper Kupp, nice game. Terry McLaurin, nice game. 83.5% efficiency rating, and you got some performances on your bench. So Jonathan Taylor is probably the only one that you could see. But can you? You can't see that. No way. There's no way you would start him over any of these three guys.
Yeah, out of I can't bench one of the receivers. It would have been Barkley, Cook, or Sanders. Who do you bench?
Yeah, exactly. The good thing to see out of week 2 was he's clearly the lead back. There was kind of a question to that in week 1. And in week 2, they were going pure Jonathan Taylor. And Naheem Hines took that 0.9, which I referenced in my preview for that. All around great game. Your kicker on the bench had a huge game. The nerd.
Putting him in, but I'm glad it didn't really make a difference.
Yeah, it didn't. I mean, it wouldn't have. This is one of those games where you can be fairly comfortable with all your decisions.
Mark Andrews was disappointing. I don't know what the hell happened there, but
that's not always going to happen though. I think that's always going to be your play.
No, well, exactly. And I got a new kicker this week for what it's worth. I don't know who dropped Zane Gonzalez or why someone dropped Zane Gonzalez.
Who dropped Zane Gonzalez? That's crazy.
I picked him up because it's Arizona and their offense is good. So
you're gonna be doing a lot of kicking.
Yeah, gonna be doing a lot of kicking. On Death Valley's side, there's another one of these. What? 0? What the fuck?
Yeah.
And Jamison Crowder, as I said, a number of players this week who it's like they're not all stars or anything, but it's like you definitely expect better than 0.
Mm-hmm. Was he hurt?
No.
He was out.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shit, he was out.
So I guess he was hurt during the game. I have to assume, or else Chris wouldn't have started him.
But then why would it have listed him as what happened? Let's look at Saquon and what happened there. Yeah, it didn't list Saquon as out in week 2, so he would have.
So Crowder was out going into the game.
Yeah.
I gave Chris too much credit too quick.
Yeah, Chris, check your damn lineups.
He's the one who just told us earlier today, hey, we'll check their lineups. Maybe that's why.
In fact, he was ruled out as of Friday of last week.
Yeah, come on.
It wasn't even like a game time decision.
Yeah. Otherwise, I don't know. Is there anything else we really need to cover over here? Darius Leonard doing his thing. Some good performances out of defense, but Chris has a direction with his team. It's similar to my direction with my team, so 74% efficiency rating, so I guess you could have gotten Quinnen Williams in there. But yeah, it is what it is.
So in terms of the picks, I think we both got one out of this. You get a bonus point for your
That's right. I got the shoe-in. This is my first shoe-in of the year. So successful shoe-in of the year. So maybe I'm mounting a mini comeback here. Well, we'll see. Let's go to turn down for Watt versus Cotton. Crazy game. It's wild that there's been 2 games 2 weeks in a row that came down to adjustments, and one went the other way.
The adjustments are common. That's what I mean. Like if it's coming down to adjustments, it's not like this might change. There's a good chance this changes.
Yeah.
But you go into it and you're like, you don't really know who's. That's why I put just TBD in terms of the heartbreak of the week, because I had no idea what was going to happen.
Yeah. So, I mean, both teams really showed up. I mean, Brian's running game was not very strong, but it got made up for by a huge game from Dak Prescott. That was that big comeback game. A big game for Julian Edelman, which was also a fun game to watch. Juju still looking fine. Robert Woods fine. Higbee had a huge game too against the Birds. So
I was well aware of that game. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Ryan's side, like you look into it's like what could have been the difference here, and I think he made most of the right decisions.
81% efficiency rating.
It's not bad. I mean, Zach Cunningham, it's like he scored 20, but I can't think of like Cunningham was good last year. He's a good linebacker, and compared to Jerome Baker, who's coming off a great game, you probably I get why Ryan would put Baker in.
You ride the hot hand.
You ride that, but like Jayon Brown, I'm not going to consider Joe Schobert. He's like an every week sort of starter.
Yeah.
But Jayon Brown and Jerome Baker, both of them scored fewer points than Cunningham did last season. So it's a bit questionable, that one.
I take it that was a tough one.
Yeah, I don't doubt. Like it's one of those things where second guessing is easy, but at the time, I'm sure Ryan struggled with it.
Yeah.
Similarly, like hindsight's 2020 with Quandre Diggs getting not injured, getting thrown out of the game early. But once again, Malcolm Jenkins is more of the guy that you can rely on week to week in terms of putting up points. He'll typically get more tackles. He's not going to get you those like big play things, and maybe Ryan was looking for some big plays to beat Khalil, but I think that's one of those things you do when you're the clear disadvantage like you're doing. When it's a close game, I'm trying to take the points. Yeah, I'd probably go Malcolm Jenkins, but it's not like any of these things are. What was Ryan doing? It's easy to say in retrospect. You've gone with this guy. I mean, Diggs last year had some big games, but then the games he didn't do something like an interception, or get a fumble recovery or whatever, you're not getting a lot of points. So
So I mean, I don't really fault any of the decisions here. Decent efficiency rating, just a damn close game. Khalil's team really showed up as well, even making up for a bad night for Deshaun Watson. But if you look at his scores, a lot of double-digit scores across the board. DJ Moore, DeAndre Hopkins, Zeke, obviously, Austin Eckler, Greg Zuerlein. His team did well. Like, this was a battle, and this is the most interesting. Well, actually, now Rice division is pretty interesting as well. So we got a couple interesting divisions to watch, and the back and forth between Cotton turned down for Watt and Ron Mexico basically needs a win this week is going to continue to be interesting to watch.
Yeah, for Khalil, there's a few things that I find interesting. One, Ryan Tannehill on the bench. Now, going into this season, he was a quarterback that was drafted either somewhere between 15 and 20 overall in terms of quarterbacks. But there's a lot of doubt on people that he's not going to do this again. Tennessee's a running offense. And what's interesting is he's doing exactly what he did last year. He's not putting up a lot of yardage, but it seems like whenever Tennessee's getting into the red zone, they're, for whatever reason, throwing the ball and getting these touchdowns rather than running it in. So Tennessee is doing the opposite of what most teams are doing, where it's like, we'll pass to get us there, and then we'll just sort of pound it into the end zone. Tennessee is doing this weird...
Yeah, they're running to get it there.
Running most of the game, and then once we almost had a touchdown, let's just toss it in.
Yeah, because like Derrick Henry's getting a lot of yards, but in terms of fantasy points, he's not getting as many as he did last year, because when they get there, they're throwing it into the end zone. I kind of feel like they're going to be doing a lot of switching it up. Like they're doing this to be like, all right, well, now we got to watch the pass game in the red zone, and then you'll have Derrick Henry running it in here and there as well. They have an interesting offense, and Tannehill's doing a great job with it.
Some other positive notes for Khalil here. Getting 13 points out of N'Keal Harry after a long time of this guy doing nothing. That's a big thing for him. That. Mike Gesicki. This is an interesting one because not only did he get 23 points, but he split out wide. So he wasn't even on the line, like next to the tackles and all that, like where a tight end normally starts. 93 or 92. I don't remember the exact numbers. So don't quote me on it, but like 93% of the time last week. Far more than any other tight end in the league. He's basically Miami's top receiver.
Yeah.
So given that he has Zach Ertz, this is a good opportunity for Khalil to maybe get some capital back in the draft next year by trading Zach Ertz. Because if Gesicki keeps that up, and it's not like this is a game where it's like, yeah, he caught some passes, he scored some touchdowns, but there's no basis for it. They are clearly relying on him based on the way they're using him in these formations.
Yeah.
So that's huge news for Khalil. The only downside I see is Austin Eckler continues to look like going into the season, people were thinking, yeah, this guy is the clear.
Yeah.
He's going to get the majority of carries. He's basically a bell cow. He isn't.
He's not, no.
He's
They're
not
running Josh Kelly a lot, and Josh Kelly's looking okay.
Yeah. There's 93 rushing yards is nothing to sneeze at, but yeah, they're using Kelly, and only getting 4 receptions is the second straight week where it's like, what happened to you catching all these passes?
Yeah.
17 points isn't a bad thing, but I think this is starting to look like the upside of Eckler. Now, for Khalil, it's not really the end of the world. I mean, Kareem Hunt is on his bench. Melvin Gordon is on his bench. He's got plenty of depth.
Yeah.
But, after all those positives in terms of, Gesicki, Harry, that's the only thing where I'm like, that is concerning. Why he started Sammy Watkins is beyond me. I guess he needs a third receiver. There's no option. He already flexed running backs, and
right.
receivers are garbage other than like Harry did well this week, but who would have expected it? We've discussed this last week, I think, but like that looks to be the only weakness on Khalil's team. And interestingly, if Gesicki keeps this up, he may just start 2 tight ends every week.
Yeah. I like considering that he has depth issues at wide receiver as well. I think it's definitely a consideration. Like that was the one thing when I was doing the South Park review. I was like, Gesicki's actually really killing it. So I'll just say he's all right. But I don't like every waiver wire article you saw was like pick up Mike Gesicki. So this is definitely not something that's just we're noticing. Everyone's noticing it. But yeah, damn close game. Came down to adjustments. Pretty big adjustment actually, because it was like within 0.5. Yeah, it's like a 1.5 difference.
It was a pass defense, so that's a big one.
Okay. All right, so in terms of picks, Turn Down for What was favored by 12 points. You said that Khalil will cover, and I said that he wouldn't. So he didn't cover, but he won. But he didn't cover. Yeah. All right. Pulling closer on these.
Hey, you're doing well this week.
It started off rough. I had like 3 in a row that weren't well. All right, last game of the week, Ron Mexico, Avocados versus Fort Myers, David and Cyril. David put up a monster performance, team of the week. This is what he could have used this week because while it's nice to win team of the week, you kind of hope you put that up against a really strong team. But Cyril, who's rebuilding, put up 189 points. Like this was an interesting game. Like it was like David destroyed it, but like it was crazy that it ended up being so close. Not close, but Cyril ended up scoring so well.
Like sometimes people can show up on defense for rebuilding teams because that's all over when people have that sort of thing. But like, Kyler Murray showing up, that's not unexpected. But the key things here for Fort Myers is James Robinson, another good game.
Yeah.
John Johnson, I've heard nothing but good things about him this year. And Darren Waller looked fucking unstoppable.
Yeah. And he was getting all the targets and murdering every time he got them. Like so really.
I think Cyril has some options here. I mean, you could keep these guys, especially, Robinson, because he's making basically nothing.
Yeah.
Same with Johnson. And or you have an option of like, let's get some stuff. Let's really go all in on future drafts. Let's trade these guys.
Yeah.
These sort of performances is really key for a rebuilding team to either, keep going forward or, use as trade bait. Yeah.
One thing I'm noticing, and this is something that I was fearing about last year as well, and I was actually looking at this player in trade and ended up doing it. Mike Williams, not looking all that great. Like I thought that he was going to be like a breakout type player last year, and it didn't really happen. And this year, so far, it hasn't really happened either. But yeah, like you said, good efficiency ratings for both teams, and let's see what Cyril does with these assets, and let's see if. Well, I mean, this week Ron Mexico is going to have to do it without Christian McCaffrey, without Raheem Mostert, without who else is hurt? Michael Thomas is already hurt, so.
Yeah,
it's going to be tough.
He's in a lot of trouble. I would like to just put a told you so in, because I remember last week's podcast, which I know David doesn't listen to, but I remember specifically saying, you're starting Jimmy Graham? Why are you starting Jimmy Graham? Put in Sims. which obviously was the correct answer here, but it didn't even matter. His team was the best team in the league.
His team just murdered. Yeah. Anyways, picks. I thought that this would be one that would have a bigger spread, but we had Ron Mexico by 30. And he obviously covered. We both said that he would cover, and you had him as your lock. So there you go. So you've been doing good with your locks. Like I think you've gotten
my lock of the week. It's my lock of the week. I should be doing good with the lock.
Yeah, I mean, I've been missing on the locks, so I guess I can't say anything. All right, so that was week 2 in FOMFA. Did we want to look at projections before we move on to week 3?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so let me find that. FOMFA week 3 projections. Here we go.
So the big thing that changed here, because a few people were looking at what they were before the stat correction, it was a big swing to be expected. Because it's so close. That win was important.
It was.
So it basically flipped. When we thought Ryan had won, he was the favorite to make the playoffs, win the division. So they basically turned down for Juan and Cotton, just flipped around here. The other thing that came out of that change, though, is David moved from an already bad 18-19% down to 15.7%. And that, honestly, I don't know if it's overstated or understated, but again, I'll point out I can't account for the specific times of the injury. So for CMC being out, for instance, his overall points go down every week, but it means instead of saying, he's going to average 17 points a week or something, it'll say he averages 14 points a week. So it means that in his game against Khalil this week, it'll be expected that Christian McCaffrey gets David 14 points. So he has a better chance in the simulations against Khalil next week than he actually does in real life. But then on the other hand, at the end of the season, the simulations are giving David lower probabilities than he will actually have when these guys are healthy. So who knows what happens there. I'm happy to see my playoffs going up to 85%. I like that. I don't like it as much as last year when it was basically telling me I had a 100% chance before the season even began.
Jason's making it interesting.
Jason's is a good team. It's the fact that he's already taken a loss and is second in the division. It's still 77% chance of making the playoffs, and the second highest expected earnings after my team. Jason's team is amazing. It's going to be. I am really hoping that I could get that bye week, and then someone in the white division can just eliminate him early.
That's true. His first round matchup is going to be against a tough team.
Yeah, well,
if he doesn't win the
playoffs is going to be nuts on this side of the division or in this conference, and I don't even really know who I would rather face, to be honest. Jason's team, if everyone is healthy, is better because Khalil is starting I don't even remember the guy's name, but that idiot wide receiver for Kansas City. But at the same time, Khalil has Melvin Gordon as his sixth running. The depth Khalil has is way better than Jason. So I think there's a good chance that Khalil's team is consistently good going forward, whereas Jason's team looks better if everyone stays healthy.
Yeah, it's a big if after week 2.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Brutal. Yeah. All right. What about on the international conference side? Anything interesting to note?
The Rice division is going to be a lot of fun to watch this
year. Look at this: 8-5, 8-5, 8-5, 3-5.
Yeah, well, I mean, even you made the division, made the playoffs 2 out of 5.
Oh, geez, what's going on over here? Things are dropping. I would be hilarious if I make the playoffs, and it would mean that I've been doing fantasy all wrong, because the year that I decide not to try is when I make it.
Well, so far you've gotten screwed in terms of points. So it'd be funny if this time when you don't care, you're just winning all these games for some reason. But yeah, that one's going to be fascinating to watch. I think it's going to be close because I look at these teams and I can make cases for all of the 8-5 teams of why they should be the division champion. Mm-hmm. But none of them are clear. None of them are it's obviously going to be this team. The interesting thing here is you look at Colorado's points, and it should be them. It should easily be them with the amount of points that they score. But I think the problem is the bye weeks just fuck it all up. What's ended up happening, and this isn't just one simulation. This is happening in consistent simulation, so it's not just a one-off thing. What is happening is that they are destroying their opponents in the weeks where bye weeks aren't an issue for them. But then in the weeks that bye weeks are an issue, they are just screwed.
Yeah.
And they're going from an amazing team when they have everyone healthy to not the worst team, but a bad team, like a team enough that you're going to lose a lot of games, but still not be terrible. But that's exactly why like that combination gets you to a lot of points, but still is not ideal in terms of wins. So you're seeing exactly why depth is important here, and we'll see who wins. If Colorado hits some injuries, he's just completely fucked.
Yeah, he'll crumble. And the interesting thing about like he escaped, which is shocking considering his history. He somehow escaped all major injuries from week 2. Like no one on his team got like a major injury, I don't think. So he's dodged one bullet, but it's always been his issue, and he does not really have a lot of levers to change that.
Now, what is also surprising to me here is Jayville's playoff odds are 23.5%.
Hey,
despite having an expected record of 6-7 and having all those 8-5 teams in the other conference. I don't get it.
Wait, why is that?
I don't know. I don't have a good answer for why this is happening, and why like FF Village at 5-8 is only like 5.5% of the time.
I wonder. It's interesting. Yeah, because it's really coming down to wild card, and maybe it's that the winner out of Rice division will make the loser really close. But then they'd still be over 6. I
would also expect that, like, this is obviously rounded. I would expect that Jayville's is probably like 6.4 is the amount of wins that are expected or something.
Okay.
Brings them a little closer. But, you know, this side of the division, we're always talking about the global conference because of, like, all these high-end teams just battling it out. But it's going to be an interesting battle on the international side as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's not necessarily as high scoring. It's still going to be a lot of fun to watch to see who comes out on top.
Yeah, definitely. It's become a very interesting year on both sides. Not what I expected. I thought there would be like basically you and Khalil versus everybody else, but it's become goddamn competitive. So it's good for the league. It's very good for the league. We'll see some parity.
Well, let's make our picks. Chris said she's going to be here in 20 minutes, so we might be a little faster with the reviews of the other teams.
All right, sounds good. So Chris sent me the favored teams. I don't know who they're playing, so you might just have to help me fill in the blanks. So we're starting off with Jayville.
Jayville is playing Year of the Sandwich, and what is the line?
The line is 30, favored to Jayville.
30 favored to Jayville, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go first. Why is Sandwich starting Sega again? Man, it's just an eternal zero. But
I don't know if he's just trying to put if he's no longer trying. I would hope that he's trying to put up an effort.
Yeah, I don't get it. JJ Watt is again on his bench for some reason.
20 million on his bench.
30 for Jayville. This is a tough one. I think this is a good line. Good work, Chris.
Yeah, this is a good one.
You know, I'm looking at it, and at least in terms of good performers on Jayville's side, I see Allen Robinson and Adam Thielen. I don't really see anyone on here. But 30 points, I think, is a lot just for two people. I'm like, yeah, they'll do well. So I'll say Year of the Sandwich. I'll take Year of the Sandwich if it's a 30-point line.
Okay. Year of the Sandwich to cover. I'm gonna agree with you. That's what I was kind of thinking as well. I think it's gonna be in the 15-point range. All right. Next up is Wario, and Wario is playing. I guess. Who are they playing? Hokage?
Hang on, before we go into, did you just say that you thought it was going to be like 50?
No, I thought it was 15.
15, okay. I was like, I think you picked the wrong team, man. But, yeah, Wario is playing Hokage.
Okay. Line is Wario favored by 18 points.
Well, this is you starting out here.
Yeah, let me pull up what I'm looking at here. It's all over the place. Wario by 15. I'm not even gonna look into it that deeply. I'm just gonna say, hold on. Do I believe in Joe Burrow to go kick some ass? Is Anthony Miller gonna be a complete
defense?
Yeah. I'm gonna say that that Jokic covers.
All right, I'm going Wario. I hear what you're saying. Like, I like the matchups on Hokic's side better, but I just think Wario is a dramatically better team.
Yeah. I'm going with the matchup side of it. All right, next we got Cobras versus me.
Yeah.
All right.
Line.
Line is 30.
I think Russell Wilson alone might.
I know my pick.
Yeah. No one is hurt on Colorado yet. They're not dealing with bye weeks yet. I'm taking Colorado.
Exactly. That's an easy one. Marines versus Turret Rocks. This is a good game. Right? It's Turret Rocks.
Yeah.
Marines favored by 7. Good line.
You're up.
All right. Marines. I don't know why mine is all like out of order on the site right now. I can't see it in the right order.
Devontae Adams is currently questionable for what it's worth. I have him in another league, and I have him because he hasn't practiced yet, which isn't a good problem.
I did see that. I will go with, let's see. I'll say Marines cover.
I thought you said, Marines is the favorite, right? Sorry?
Yes.
Okay.
I think they can cover the 7.
Yeah, I will go with Turret Rocks. I think we're going to see a big game out of Lamar Jackson trying to keep up with Kansas City. Devontae Adams, if he doesn't play, that's a huge hole because he's not a good backup to be going in.
Mm-hmm.
But even so, I'm relying on Lamar Jackson here and Will Fuller to not get 0 points.
Yeah, who knows? Is it going to be Brandon Cooks again? I'm going to switch back. All right, next game is Toronto. So your team versus who are you playing this week?
Luis.
Okay, Luis. All right. So the line is you're favored by 37.
37.
That's reasonable. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I choose you.
You choose you. I'm choosing you as well.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we've got Cotton versus Fort Myers. Cotton favored by 24 points.
Well, you're up.
I say Ryan covers. I'm not even looking anymore. I'm just going with gut now.
Well, I mean, it's Fort Myers, right? 24 points isn't all that. I mean, it's weird because some weeks Chris comes through, it's like a good team versus a bad team, 80-point spread. And then it's like good team versus bad team, 24. You know what? No. I don't know.
Got excited for a minute.
I'm going to really throw a long shot in here. I think the line is outrageous, and I would have liked a better line. But I like what I saw out of Cyril's team last week. Darrell Henderson was looking good.
All right.
Dave Robinson looking good. And Kyler Murray's up against Detroit. Like, I'll change things up and I'll say that Cyril covers that.
Okay. I thought you have good reasons. So
I'm going to be disappointed in that one, but we've been agreeing on too many things. So
all right, next up we got Watt versus Ron Mexico's big game. Watt favored by 8 points.
I'd take a turn down for Watt.
Yeah, it's going with my boy hasn't been successful this year. It hasn't been working out.
Well, he's 1-on-1.
Yeah, I know, but like he hasn't gotten me the cover that I need. Fuck. Yeah, I gotta go. Do I change it? I gotta go with Watt. There's just too much uncertainty on Ron Mexico right now.
All right. I believe last week I allowed you to make the first choice.
We got one more game.
We got one more game.
Clout the Ground versus who?
Death Valley.
Death Valley. Okay. Lioness Clout the Ground by 30. You choose first. No, I choose first. I'd say Clout the Ground covers that.
I agree.
Real quick. Shoe-in, I'm going to say is you.
Yeah, and I am going to, Cloud the Ground.
Cloud the Ground, yeah. It's one of those two. All right. Okay. Let us move on. Should we switch it up now?
Well, what is your lock?
I said you.
You're saying me, huh?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to Ben Wyatt then.
All right. Rebrand coming.
See when my guest arrives.
Yeah. All right. So, what you call? Ryan's saying he'll prove you wrong.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, maybe. Even when making the pick, I knew this was a long shot, but we'll see what happens.
Right. Well, good point for Chris. We're going to speed it up. Let's get right into Ben Wyatt Week 2 results.
I would suggest we make our picks first, just because if I have to leave, it's not a big deal if we don't do the recap as much.
All right, let's go to Ben Wyatt picks. First game I've got on my list is Malibu. Who's Malibu playing?
Malibu is playing Oakland this week.
All right, Malibu being favored by 21 points. I think I did the last first pick, so you picked this one.
I definitely did the last first pick, but I don't care. I'm beating you, so I'll do the first pick again. 21, you say?
Yeah. Ugh, I don't know these teams as well. I got to really pull this up.
Yeah, I'll take Malibu.
Malibu? Okay. Let's see. Fantasy preview. Yeah, I like Malibu in this one too. All right, that's not good. We got a lot of agreement going on. All right, next game I got is Willamette. So your team.
Willamette.
Willamette. You're favored by 15 points against?
San Diego.
San Diego. Ooh, oh yeah, this is rivalry week. I forgot about that.
Rivalry week.
And Malibu and Oakland, I should have known that. They both put up. They're the only team that, or me and South, them and me and Chris are the only teams that put up responses. So you by 15. Let's see this matchup over here. I'm picking first, right?
Yeah.
We got Dak Prescott playing the Seahawks. Yeah. Man, your running back situation is not good, Phil.
I know.
Antonio Gibson looked good. It was a promising week last week.
Here's the thing: my running back situation is better than when the year began. I know Davis, who's the starter in Carolina with no one really behind him. Deion Lewis is on my bench, who is going to get some points for the Giants. Tariq Cohen is on my bench. This is the best it's ever been.
All right, I'm gonna go with you covering that.
I will also go with me covering it. Mike Davis is going to put up 30 fucking points this week.
I have belief in Mike Davis. I don't really, but I'm just saying it. Houston Longhorns versus, what's that?
San Antonio.
San Antonio favored by 20 points. A week after San Antonio lost it all.
Yeah, now San Antonio is needs to start some more players. I see by the 900 player remaining. But we know based on their bench, the players they start probably aren't going to score a lot of points. So,
yeah.
Sorry, what was the line on this one?
I think, let's see, minus 20.
Minus 20 for Houston, I assume.
Yes.
I'm taking Houston.
Yes. As am I. This is not good. It's turning out us.
Look at Houston's team.
Yeah.
I'm taking Houston.
I just San Antonio was too reliant on those two players. It's gonna hurt.
And Nick Bosa, he lost Nick Bosa too.
Oh fuck! Jeez, he took a hit.
Yeah, more than half of his total payroll was put on the IR last week.
All right, so next up we've got Denver versus Waco. Denver. Vegas versus Waco.
It's confusing when you have the name of a city. But
projected as a very close game. He seemed pretty confident he'd win, but the line right now is -3 for Vegas.
Well, I mean, he was trashing. -3 for Vegas means he's going to win, but that's not that he's predicting.
Yeah. But the site has it at 9, and he was predicting it as higher, but obviously he will.
Yeah. He's trashing Dick Cutter, but like Atlanta's offense is pretty solid. So
yeah, I know.
You can't really. Like I'm thinking. Oh, I guess it's your pick first this time.
Yeah. I'm looking. Interesting with KJ Hamler in there. With Courtney Sutton being hurt. Even Christian Kirk. This is a very up and down team. Is Kenny Galladay back? Do we know
that? He should be.
All right, that changes things.
It's not certain, but he should be back this week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know where you're seeing Galladay.
I'm not. I'm just seeing Marvin Jones.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna take. I think I'm gonna take Waco.
Yeah, this is a tight one. I like this line, but I'm also on the Waco side of things here.
Same pick again.
I don't want Kerryon Johnson on the team that I'm rooting for.
I'm rooting for you, Vegas. I'm just taking Waco. Scranton is our next game. Scranton versus
Jersey.
Oh, this is going to be a fun one because they actually didn't like each other at all. They've had a lot of trash talk.
Traded all their draft picks.
Yeah, this is a great game.
That's for the sake of the league. If Scranton does really well and Jersey does really poorly, the league is fucked with Scranton having Jersey's picks for 2 years.
Yeah.
So I think we all collectively have to be rooting for Jersey here. But
Yeah. I mean, I just found it to be very interesting. They really went at each other and went hard. You came back at him hard, Phil.
He came at him and he came back hard.
Oh, this is your pick.
My pick? What is the line?
The line is Scranton by 10.
I take Scranton.
Taking Scranton?
Yes.
I'll switch it up. I'll take Jersey. I don't even know if it's the right call, but we've been making the same pick too much. Take Scranton, I got Jersey. All right. Next up, we've got Enniscorthy versus who is there? Okay, versus Redskins. Enniscorthy favored by 7.
All right. Well, let me know, Jim.
Enniscorthy at Washington. This is it's an interesting game. Seems to be impact Holmes. I'm very, very confused about what Leonard Fournette will end up doing because he had a nice game. Who is Braxton Berrios? I don't even know who this is. Oh, this is a bad wide receiver situation, Cyril. You're not rebuilding here, too. Good defense. I'll take Enniscorthy as well.
Remind me of the line.
It's 7.
For who?
For Enniscorthy.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Right. So far, one disagreement in this team.
It was only because you were like, you know what, let's disagree for the sake of disagreeing.
That's the one that I'm just going to lose the point on. All right, finally. The big game, South Philly versus South Park. The Souths. I'm favored by 12.
Creamy Fight Milk Bowl.
Yeah, Creamy Goo Fight Milk Bowl. I am favored by 12 points. Is it me who's going first?
No, it's my choice here. Well, I don't know. Whatever, I'll go. Mm-hmm. I started on last.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
Here's the thing: like your team is real good, but so is Chris's, frankly.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of bugs me.
Got Raheem Mostert starting, and he's injured. At least he's got Jeffrey Wilson on the bench. Devontae Parker should play. You're favored by 12?
Yeah. Is it going to be a barn burner? That's the question.
I think there's going to be a lot of points scored. I think your biggest weapon, John Harbaugh, is going to be neutralized a little bit by the fact they're playing Kansas City.
I know that one hurts, and he's got Lamar Jackson. So.
Yeah, I'm not going to be surprised if you blow him out, but I'm going to take South Park.
I'm going to take South Park. All right, I'm going to believe in myself. That's one other difference. We'll see how it goes. But I want that $18. So, is that all of them?
That is all of them.
That is all of them. It looks like I'm missing a game here. I've only got 7 games.
Well, that actually might make sense why I picked again.
Yeah.
We didn't do Hollywood, Chicago, I don't think. Maybe we did. I don't think so, though.
Yeah. Sorry. I screwed it up. But Hollywood, Chicago was before mine. So, yeah, Hollywood, Chicago is next. So I guess I'll pick this one. Hollywood favored by 13 points. Let's see. You know what? This is not the right way to pick this, but I really like that song. So I'm going to give it to Chicago based solely on the fact that John killed that song.
I mean, Chicago's got Newton going up against the Raiders. That's points. And Landry hasn't done too much yet. Darren Waller is going to get you some points. Zeke's good. Dalvin Cook, Ridley, Minshew. I think this is the week that T.Y. Hilton turns it around. Zach Ertz against Cincinnati. Actually, I don't know what's going to happen since in terms of Cincinnati's points allowed to tight ends. Cleveland's allowed a lot, but I was mixing them up. Yeah, I'll still go Hollywood. I have a lot of faith in Hollywood's team overall, so I'm going to go Hollywood here.
Hollywood's got a good team. So hold on, sorry, I said Chicago, right? So I'm 0. Yeah. Okay, so I scored that. Okay, so you picked the lock first, yeah? And FOMFA?
I believe so. And the other one, I picked first.
All right, let me pick my shoe in. This is interesting because they're basically all the same. Shoe in. God, these are closer games. It's not as cut and dry.
It's a lot easier for this.
It's definitely not as cut and dry. There's no one just bailing. I'm gonna take Malibu.
Houston.
All right. Oh fuck! What am I doing? I didn't even notice that. Jesus Christ.
That was the only one. I was like, I don't even remember the lines, but
I'm fucking this up royally. All right, cows. Easy there, Chris. It's not gonna happen for you. He's picking Hollywood. All right. Do you want? Should we? We got 15 minutes. We can probably rifle off the game. The results.
I don't know when she's gonna get here.
All right.
So we'll do what we got.
We got hard outs. We'll see where we get to. Franchise weekly results. Okay. So, first game I'm seeing is what? San Diego versus Malibu.
Yeah.
All right. So, San Diego. Malibu wins that game in a big way. San Diego got only 155 points. Malibu 199. I think this went the way we'd expect.
Yeah, I mean San Diego is trash.
Yeah, they're trash.
It's rivalry week. I'm not gonna.
We'll destroy them.
Yeah. 41 points out of Dak Prescott and still only came up with 155 total.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. Yeah, there's some and a lot of points left on the bench too. But I don't know if there would be clear-cut decisions. I think I would have started Quinnen Williams over one of these two defensive tackles he's got, and Quinnen Williams had a big game.
I will start any defensive end over, except maybe like 2 or 3 defensive tackles.
Yeah, like the big ones. He's got Fletcher Cox and Ojanobi. Ogunjobi.
There you go.
I can never pronounce these fucking names. Yeah. So what was our picks here? Last week's. Let me go back up to week 2. Malibu and San Diego. We both said that Malibu would cover.
What was the spread?
25. So points each, but I got it as my shoe-in. So
damn.
Extra point for me. All right. Next up is it you versus Oakland?
Yeah.
All right. So this was quite the beatdown. 212 points put up by you on a very efficient starting versus 166 put up by Oakland. Benny Snell hurts Oakland pretty mightily. But you got good performances, man. Odell Beckham had a great game. John Brown was the right pick there. Antonio Gibson, like I said, looking like he'll make up for the horrendous running back situation you've got.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice if Anthony Miller scored any points, but it's what it is.
But Kyle Shanahan giving you a little boost too.
Or if the Eagles allow 1 million points to the Rams.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. But yeah, there you go. Anything else to note here?
No, I mean, I expected to beat Jason in this league. His team is trash.
Yeah. Spread was you winning by 24 points. You took the under here. You said that you.
No, I got. This is another one, much like last week, where I think somehow you're screwing up the picks that I make on my team.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. Maybe someone can confirm this because I remember week 1, this league, I didn't choose my team, and 2, I was like, I'm going to beat Jason by that much. I'll choose my team. We'll see if someone can confirm that for us, but I think that's what happened.
Okay, I will take that. I'll take your word.
Does
that mean
I could be wrong, but I think that's what happened.
Okay. Does that mean I just did an opposite because we had opposing choices?
Yeah,
so I assume it's the opposite.
The time you just choose the other team just to be different.
Yeah, maybe you should start noting these down. All right. So until we get confirmation, we're going to say you got point there. I got nada. Moving on to Houston versus Waco, which is called as a pretty close game. Houston by 10 was the spread, and Houston lost. Houston had a weird second game. I thought that Houston was going to be better. And Waco won on like the worst efficiency rating.
Yeah, it didn't help Houston that Devontae Adams got.
Yeah.
That really didn't help things, but that was really the only issue here. So I don't know. I think Waco just had a good game, and Ryan Tannehill put up a lot of points. Chubb, good game. Cunningham, Moore. I think Waco just decided to show up. Their bench showed up more. But
so if I've got the picks right, Houston was favored by 10. You said that Waco would cover, and I said Houston would. So point for you, 0 for me.
Other than my team, I don't remember any of my picks.
You just gotta trust that I am doing this right, and that's not necessarily a good call. All right, next up we got San Antonio versus Las Vegas. San Antonio was favored by 11 points. How did it end up going? Oh, this was disaster week. This is when no, Christian McCaffrey played this week. He got hurt after, I guess. Christian McCaffrey had a nice big game.
At the end of the game.
Saquon got hurt, yeah.
Either way, Las Vegas scored almost 250 points.
Las Vegas had a monster game here.
Domination. I mean,
holy shit. Alvin Kamara, Russell Wilson. That's a dangerous team when the big guys show up because Mike Evans, Alvin Kamara.
Big guys showing up. All of his defense pretty much did, other than Trey Flowers. It was a great game this is sort of the ceiling for Vegas. I'm not saying it's not a good team, but it's not common you're going to get 250 points out of a week.
Yeah. So we both said that San Antonio would cover, but this was assuming Saquon wasn't going to get hurt.
Even if Saquon didn't get hurt, they wouldn't have won this game.
Yeah.
We both just lost that one.
I'll take a bagel on that. Oh, you had it as your lock. So
no.
After San Antonio's first week, it was looking really strong. Washington versus Jersey. Washington favored by 10 points. How did it end up happening? Washington gets the win. Pretty big win, pretty big margin. So this was not as close as called. Why exactly? Big points out of Sean McVay, we just talked about. And Patrick Mahomes doing Patrick Mahomes things. Decent performance out of running backs. Yeah, good game all around. Huge game out of Tyler Higbee.
Yeah, Higbee helped. Deontay Johnson helped.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was a surprisingly good game between two teams that are not expected to be great teams. But they both had good games this week, and Jersey just took the unfortunate loss, I think.
Maybe Washington's scary, man, because they had a 79.5% efficiency rating, leaving Leonard Fournette on the bench, but you don't really expect him to not be, and considering David Johnson, Joe Mixon, and Devin Singletary, but that might change moving forward.
It won't. Well, maybe over Singletary. Singletary's sort of losing his job gradually.
To the new guy. All right, so Washington was favored by 10. You said that Jersey would cover that. They did not. And I get the point there. Washington would. All right, next we got myself versus Scranton. This was a good game. It got me nervous at first, and then I kind of
scored like 1,000,000 points. But
at first it was looking close because right off the bat he got big ass performances out of Jonnu Smith, who was murdering it.
You after
Mike Hilton,
and then weren't even paying attention as Aaron Jones went off for 200 and something yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I was at my parents', so I was I just checked in later. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. That went up big. All right, so this was actually a big line. We had me winning by 40, and I did.
Both teams scoring higher than I think we expected, but the 40.
Yeah. So you said that it would be that that Scranton would cover that.
Yeah, that's great.
and I believed in myself. I should have made myself the shoe in. Well, I already got the shoe in. All right, last game. Chicago versus Enniscorthy. Chicago favored by 17 in the picks.
There's also another game coming up after this, but we'll get to it.
Okay. Oh, right. I probably missed the top one. Chicago is what? Chicago wins big. Big game for Chicago. Damn.
Destroyed here.
I forgot how good their game was. Cam Newton having a massive game.
Looking good. David Montgomery had a good game for himself.
Again. Yeah, double digits almost across the board. Only a couple of his starters didn't go double digits. That's pretty solid.
Yeah, no, this was a good effort. I don't think it's necessarily repeatable, but it was one of the better games Chicago's going to have.
And it's got to be one of the highest efficiency ratings I've ever seen. 96. Yeah. Wow, well done. These are all obvious choices.
The rating is actually understated too because it doesn't understand the differences between the coaches we have. So to put Jason Garrett in over Matt Nagy, that wasn't even an option. So the efficiency rating would probably be around 97 to 98 or something. Really, the only things that could have been done are Josh Reynolds over Sammy Watkins and Terrell Edmonds over Eddie Jackson.
Yeah. This is the very good game for Chicago. Anything to say on the Enniscorthy end? They got some good performances, but it was just it was going to be very hard to overcome that performance.
Yeah, no. I guess with George Kittle injured, I would have actually put in Irv Smith Jr. over Ian Thomas, but that would have only gotten him an extra 0.8 points, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, picks-wise, we both said that Enniscorthy would cover. I don't think we expected that monster game on Chicago.
Have I gotten one right yet in this league?
No, you started off strong. You had first 3 right.
Oh.
And I had only one of those right, so we ended up drawing on it. You didn't get your lock. Well, what's the last game? What am I missing?
Hollywood and South Park.
Oh, right. They were the top of my list. Sorry. Hollywood favored by 5 points versus South Park. What's that?
Hollywood was favored by 5, huh?
Favored by 5.
Well, they lost by 55. So
this really went the other way. This went wrong real quick.
I really hope I didn't pick Hollywood on this.
I think we both made the same pick here. We both said Hollywood to cover.
Oh, God damn it.
Don't worry, I'm not gating on you.
No, but
this is unexpected.
1% of the time you're wrong. 49.
Well, Hollywood had a huge week 1 and is looking like a very good team. South Park beat them.
It's Zach Ertz only 7.7, Thielen 5.6, Hilton 4.8.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who are you just didn't show up. And
exactly.
Big performer, 3 points against San Diego. Or sorry, LA.
We're not shitting on you in Chicago. Are we? Maybe we are. Anyways, we both got big fat bagels there. And we've already made our picks for next week, so guess that'll do it then, Phil, for episode 6. Anything else to add before we close?
Someone trade me a running back? I don't know.
All right. So yeah, good luck, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. I think this was a fun one. Good luck in your leagues. This is the first time we did it before the game started. That's good.
Yeah, we weren't looking and trying to consider. Well, this team already scored like 18 points. So.
Mm-hmm. And Chris leaving with the sound of a dying cow. So that's the sound they make when they're killed.
That's the sound they make regardless of what's happening.
That's right. They're a stupid animal. A stupid animal to choose as your team. Pigeons are survivors. Pigeons got to live in the streets, getting kicked around. We're survivors.
It's true. All right. Well, best of luck to everyone.
All right. Yeah. See you later, boys.